Okay.
That was from the Susie girl. Mm. All right. That was from the Susie girl. Oh my God, I'm so bright. Can we lower the volume or the Jesus? Ah, how's that look? Is that too much?
Too dark.
Oh, it's so bright. There you go. Now it's bright. Lower the volume or the right? What are you thinking?
You like it?
You like it? Too much?
Too dark.
Mhm. Okay. And we're live. Woo! Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Great. Just great.
Happy Monday.
Yes. So, welcome to A Man's Journey. I am Christopher Valona.
I'm secondhand Steve.
We just want to say welcome to our channel,
Willkommen, bienvenue. Come on in.
brought to you by Rare Givers Global Network. That's right. And so, this is a channel, if you haven't figured it all out, that helps support rare givers, caregivers, people helping others in the special needs community, whether they're handicapped or mentally ill, or you just need a supportive person. So this is the men's side, where we talk about men in this space. And
And we're not spectators. We're on the field. We're doing this.
yeah, I mean, clearly, how's that microphone treating you, Steve?
Good, good.
All right, all right, all right. Are we unmuted? Oh my God. Ah, no, we're good. Okay. So yeah, we're both actually in the field ourselves.
Currently active.
I'm a caregiver to my son Sebastian, and Steve works for us part-time as a caregiver, giving me much needed respite from time to time. You just came back from a session. How was that?
It was good. We did the ESS systems.
EE systems, you mean?
EES. Did I say it?
E
E
E
E
S
EES systems?
Energy Enhancement Systems.
Yeah, that one.
How was it?
And we did 2 hours there, which was nice. I fell asleep. So did Sebi.
You both fell asleep. Well, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
That's what they want you to do.
It's a place where you're healed. So that's amazing. Yeah. And you went to bio recharge centers. Yeah.
Is that what the
That's the name of the company you went
Right.
to. So yeah. So bio recharge center here in Santa Clarita. They're not a sponsor, but we always like to give a shout out for stuff that works. This is working for Sebastian. If you follow our stories on Reels or TikTok or just Facebook in general, you'll see how the decline of Sebastian was so prevalent the first 3 quarters of last year, and then quarter 4, we introduced Sebastian into this new systems using scalar wave technology for healing, which is just frequency healing, which has been around for
since the beginning?
since the beginning of time. I wanted to say hundreds of years, but it's actually thousands.
That's what the whole system duplicates is the Earth's magnetic and electromagnetic field back when it was much stronger and more effective.
Mhm.
Back when tales of men living 800 years plus. So I wonder if that's going to happen to us.
Well, I don't know how it works, but I don't care how it works. It just works.
You can't deny the results. You really can't.
This is working on you. Do you feel a difference?
I think I'd be worse without going. I'd be worse for wear. So I think it's having an effect. But I don't spend the time Sebastian does. He does overnights and much more hours than I do.
Yeah, we're starting this week. We're going to do 2 back-to-back overnights. So we're gonna see how that works. We get some more amazing recovery out of Sebastian. As you know, if you don't know, he's suffering from Batten disease CLN8, which is a brain-related disease that Sebastian doesn't have an enzyme that takes out the trash in our brain. So every time we have an emotion or a thing, looking, talking, there's puffs of toxicity from the synapses that move our bodies. And there's an enzyme that we all have except for these kids.
It's like he doesn't have an exhaust.
Yeah, so it comes in behind and removes all of that and shoves it out into the world. And Sebastian doesn't have that, so the toxin levels build up and it kills the brain cells. We have found that this system is possibly removing the trash through these energy.
At the bare minimum, pausing it,
Yeah,
and not he's not his state of decline is
right. Also, we do the seizure, not the seizure, but the detox bath, which you must do after these sessions, whether it's 2 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours. And what that does is that you take your bath, and there's a protocol what to put in the bathtub. So that's we could do another show on that maybe another time. We should bring in, the owner. That would be a great little
I
lesson.
think that'd be nice.
But anyway, he's doing much better. Check it out. You can go to unifiedhealing.com to understand what it's all about. And that's the site that gives you the background and the history of this amazing technology that a woman just basically put all together using, what's already been here before. Steve's our scholar, our historian scholar. So he's
No, he's not.
yeah, he is.
He's like a giant parrot that watches too many YouTube videos. Let's get real.
Mm,
I can take interest in something and I try to look into it and find out as much as I can about it.
that's right.
I try to educate myself today.
So, what a day. What an amazing day in history. Our old president, Donald J. Trump, was sworn in today
I heard.
for the second time. And the Republican Party has taken over. It's their turn, just like the Democrats had it last time. And so historical because, I don't think there's been a president yet that has had 2 terms non-consecutively. And,
Not that I've heard about.
and basically, hopefully change is coming and hopefully everybody can get along now. Hopefully everybody will have a better time. But the reason why I bring this up is because it was brought to my attention that back in November, when people were voting, whether you're a Democrat or whether you're a Republican, it was really unnerving. It was stressful. People were upset, angry. There was a lot of threats. There was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of everything. It's very emotional. We don't get into topics here of political nature, but I wanted to get into it today because I just wanted to just check in with you guys. I know it's your candidate may or may not have won. And so I understand it can be very emotional and very angry. So it's important to really understand if you have friends that are on the D side, just be gentle with them. And if you have friends that are on the R side, hey, be gentle with them too. It's important to support each other going through this. This is very, it's been brought to my attention. This is a big deal. I mean, emotionally big for a lot of people. Like there's a lot of people that are very much angry and emotional. They think the world is going to end. And then there are people that are just like, I don't understand it. What's going to change? Is no big deal. I don't know why you're getting all freaked out. So we like to just make sure that everybody understands that if you just pause when people are upset, the mere form of wearing a t-shirt could trigger somebody if you have the current president's name or the past president's name. So, these are the things I just wanted to check in. I mean, do you have anything to add?
Nothing.
Wow. Okay. Nothing to add. You don't believe that this is a stressful time? You don't think that politics plays a role in being stressed out or emotional?
Oh, it absolutely does.
Okay.
And a lot of people lose their mind
Yeah.
on either side. And I've seen more people. What's the word I'm looking for? I've seen that break apart families. I've seen.
You've seen politics break up families.
Oh, well, recently,
Well,
and I've just seen it do damage I've never seen it done before in the past.
that's true.
And so I stay neutral.
Mm.
And someone told me once, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything, which just traps you in that either one side or the other, which I don't subscribe to. Even a coin has 3 sides.
That's true. Everybody forgets the outside. So you're a neutral party.
I am. I believe that whether you're one party or the other, it's what's going to happen is going to happen. And the people really calling the shots are still calling the shots.
Well, hopefully we can get,
But I hope more programs for rare disease, disability.
yeah,
I hope things like that get pushed through faster. I hope they get streamlined. I hope the fat's cut out of them and people can be helped. And to me, that'll be the test of what kind of administration we have. Let's see how effective they are on things that people need.
let's cut out the fat. Let's cut out the kickbacks and let's go to work.
Yeah, let's help some people.
So politics did play a part in my last two preclinical trials, for sure. If there's no way to monetize disease, then there's no way to push a cure. Which led me down this path of, I was very angry for a while.
But when you find out, you're wearing a pink ribbon to help support fighting cancer, and then you find out the money that didn't even make it to any kind of treatment because it went to the administrators.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, that happens more often than you think. And the sad thing is that there's a lot of people that are pushing for change and pushing for science, and they get to that part and they create the science and they actually have something that's tangible. Powers that be say no for some reason, and I hope that changes. I hope that things can become more unified and where we can actually get into like, hey, this makes sense. It's common sense. Let's help these people find a way to live.
Well, we got billions going to the Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Billions. And these fire victims in LA, they were offered $717 a piece.
And let's not forget North Carolina. How much were they helped?
What does that tell you?
Zero.
So
yeah, I hope things change.
It's got to be about the people.
We are the people that put these people in power, and they just they don't listen a lot of the time.
The people have been out of power for a very long time, and they're just kind of realizing it now.
Yeah, well.
But to get back to the show,
and
our topic.
Yeah, this is not a political show.
You turn it into.
We're just here to let you know that just be gentle with the people around you who are excited or who are sad about your current presidential hopeful. You know what I'm saying? It's very triggering for some, and it's very scary for others. And what makes it really, obvious to me is like what you think is not important is the end of the world for some. So tread lightly, friends, and just, give yourself a break and give yourself a pat on the back while you're at it.
Here's the reality of it. If you got a child, a family member with a rare disease, a handicap, a disability, anything, and you're in a position to, you're barely getting by, you're living paycheck to paycheck, politics doesn't mean anything to you. What means something to you is what you can do right now for the loved one you have in front of you. What we're trying to do is give you some ideas, give you a direction to go, support, send you towards the right resources so you can get the help you need with taking care of that person that you're responsible for.
Right. So check in with those people, especially on today. I understand this is a day that is great for some, but it's horrible for others. So check in with those people that may be, feeling a little bit scared or feeling a little bit out of the loop, or, they don't have any idea what's going on. So that's my take, and I stand by it. Now, we were going to talk about, let's see, we already did about the role, mental health, support systems. Oh, did you love our show last week? Did you? How awesome was that? How great was that? How many people think they're prepared during some sort of a trauma or tragedy or evacuation?
Emergency.
Yeah.
In any form.
We appreciate you listening to that. And hopefully you took some tips and tricks and you actually started making some changes, because it could happen again, like probably this week with more high winds.
You know what? Here's a good tip that I forgot about. The greatest place to store gas is in your vehicle. Don't let it go below half tank. I just got back from the therapy in your van, and It's on empty. I can go 41 miles according to the car.
I love it. You got 41 miles to go.
So
That's
get into the habit of keeping your car at least half full.
sorry. A bit-
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so a lot of tips and tricks if you don't know what we're talking about. Last week's show was about being prepared.
With those fires in Los Angeles and the evacuate, and we was in the midst of it.
Yeah, so we thought it was really, perfect timing just to drop that in there for you guys. And hopefully you got some good meat and potatoes out of that. And actually, I'm gonna have Steve help me this week organize my storage facility.
Good,
Where
very
we're
good.
going to, have our go bag and our go stuff so that we can just take it from one section to the van. So
Remember, if there's a power outage for whatever reason, there is no gas, there is no ATMs.
Yep.
There's no convenience. The convenience is gone now.
anything that requires electricity to give you those conveniences is going to be gone for a while.
Right.
Propane is good. Yeah,
Yeah, if you have
Yeah.
propane tanks,
yeah.
make sure they're topped off.
Yep, I just did that.
And propane lasts forever. The tank will disintegrate before the propane goes bad.
Wow.
So remember,
Yeah.
I don't care how old it is. Gasoline will go bad unless you add an additive, and even then it'll just buy it maybe another 6 months or a year.
Mm,
But yeah, learn how to store stuff and take care of stuff. That
love it.
make sure you have everything you need to be able to take care
That's
of
right.
yourself and your family.
That's right. All right.
Quite right.
All right. I don't remember. I think we're supposed to talk about let's see. What is today? Where are we? January?
We are.
6/13/20. Well, that was that one time in December. Well, I guess we could talk about, personal stories.
Let's see here. January is the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I got a question for
Yeah,
you as
tell
far
me.
as beginnings.
Yeah.
So Sebi, when he was younger, he was misdiagnosed because you already sensed something was wrong.
Right. He was misdiagnosed just having epilepsy because he only presented seizures.
So there did come a time when you had the right diagnosis. That's when it really began. That's when you had something concrete and solid to call it a name, to understand your son had this.
Well, yeah, because all the other things were going wrong.
So in the beginning, what were some of the things you learned through trial and error that if you could do it, it helps you talk to someone else who just found out?
Hmm.
What would you tell them? They just found out their child has a rare disease.
Hmm. I would ask them if they're married or not, because that's a huge part of the problem. Not part of the problem, but a part of the entire mechanism that goes with diagnosis day. If you don't have a strong partnership, the world is going to just destroy it. Because what we have found in my experience, not just with me and my divorce, but other rare disease families and special needs parents, if you're not on the same page, there's a good opportunity you're going to fight. There's a good opportunity you're not going to understand each other. And it's kind of like,
So this will test it. This will show you, this will streamline the process
for
of
sure.
if it's gonna work or it's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
I mean, it's almost like, oh, does Sophia want to jump up? Hi, Soph.
Come on, baby.
Look, this is my support animal. That's Sophia. Hi, Soph. You want to say anything? What do you want to say? You love Dad.
Pet me.
Oh, yeah, pet you. All right, so this is an important thing that it's important that you brought it up. If you don't have a strong bond with your person, it can really go sideways fast. There was a lot of blame, genetics, your fault, your genetics. There was a lot of fighting as to how to take care of that person once it was diagnosed. The old adage is like moms want to bubble wrap and dads just want to throw dirt on it. Let's go. That's how it was for me. There was no, you're going to do it this way and we're going to help each other. It was like constant fighting. And I didn't have the patience or the wherewithal to have, common sense conversations anymore, because your child has been diagnosed, he's gonna die. So it was like, oh my God. And it was really hard. It was really hard for me to maintain that relationship. And eventually I had to tap out because I couldn't do it anymore.
So not only the stress and worry and anxiety of having a sick child.
Yeah.
But now you find your marriage melting, coming apart at the seams,
Yeah,
fingers are being pointed.
when you need it the most, that was the thing that was screwed up. I needed that support, but all it was fighting and blaming each other and trying to figure out something.
But who needs the most support?
The child.
Yes. And if people can put aside their whatever it is and focus on that, that'd be a great start.
It's hard to focus.
It's a game changer.
Well, because you're wrought with fear, and then fear makes your actions just.
And did you get blindsided with the diagnosis?
I think so. I think any terminal illness is blindsided, don't you think?
So then you have the whole element of shock. So you got that too. You're dealing with something that is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so if you've just had something like that, you're listening to this, and you think you're going to handle it with your head held high and do it cleanly and with dignity, probably not.
Good luck.
Yeah, you're going to get real quick.
What I didn't have was this knowledge that I have. Diagnosis day was the first diagnosis day. The false diagnosis was in 2009.
See, a false diagnosis it's almost like it gives you hope that it's not it.
Well, we didn't really know what it could be, because things that happened were really, oh, he has epilepsy. People don't die from epilepsy.
Right. So
you live forever, no big deal.
The level of fear is not, it's down here.
Oh, but then they put you in this room. I forgot about this. They put you in this room, and then they tell you how your client can die, how your son or daughter can die from epilepsy. And it just changes everything. You thought SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, was bad. Talking about having a child who has seizures do the same thing, suffocate, hurt themselves. They always say that epilepsy doesn't kill. It's what happens during the episode. So
concussions,
the falls, the cuts, the lacerations, the suffocation, and you're like, oh, it's just bonkers. But we'll give you some pills, and he'll have a great life, and he'll have this aura, and he'll know what to do, and it's just all BS. That doesn't change how you feel.
So you go from a worse diagnosis to even worse conclusion with what he actually has. And you've got to watch your son deteriorate over the years. You got to go watch him from when he could walk to not really being able to walk unassisted.
Well, yeah. And you wonder why he was failing in all those other categories, from fine motor skills to daily normal activities, from swinging a baseball bat to striking out all the time, to tripping over his feet on a solid platform, to not being able to talk and not being able to see as much as he did the year before. And so, while you say he passes all of his, tests and he's thriving, he's really deteriorating. Then you add in epilepsy, and then you have these seizures, which are lasting a minute to 2 minutes. And you're like, oh my God, when is it going to stop? And then it's all of a sudden you have all these other stuff that starts to compliment this amazing person, and you kind of go, this is not epilepsy. And so you have to go back to the neurologist that diagnosed him and said, we're not sure that this is just epilepsy. And they go, oh, maybe it's not. So let's do some genome sequencing testing. Yeah. That's a very expensive test, by the way. You don't have insurance.
And everyone should have access to that. That's,
Yeah, well, hopefully, they get access. It was a very expensive. It was in the tens of thousands of dollars, and insurance didn't want to cover it at that time. Well, we fought tooth and nail, but we found out there's the true diagnosis. We had Batten disease, CLM8, which would give us some understanding of these other theories behind why Sebastian was struggling. so much.
So not only do you have a child with a rare disease now, but you have to fight tooth and nail for tests,
Yeah,
for
understanding.
labs, for everything. And then, and this is where you excel. You educated yourself on grants, different procedures, putting together a his, what's that called? Like the run is under
The run.
his
Oh, you mean the foundation?
the foundation.
We
That's
created a foundation for awareness. And
So-
we'll raise money to
and again,
supposedly go into clinical trials to fix our kids under the blanket of gene therapy replacement.
and you did it from scratch.
Yes,
And
but
that's
it had help. I mean, I had a couple of families that were already doing this, and we just asked them, "Hey, can you teach us?" And they said, "Yeah." So after they gave us the blueprint, we did it by ourselves.
and that's the whole point of this show is Chris has experience I don't even come close to understanding. And he's available to help if you want it. And don't ever be too proud to ask for help.
I couldn't ask for enough help, and nobody knew what I needed because they'd never been in my space before. So I had to go and find those groups online, Facebook, or talk to these other, women and ask them, "Hey, can I speak to your husband?" And the husbands were non-existent. A lot of them were. And so it made it very hard. And then, of course, going through a divorce at that same time while you just got the diagnosis. It was horrific. I was severely depressed.
It's like getting in a car accident and then having another car hit you. And then you're still strapped in the car that's not running, and now another car hits you.
Yeah.
And it's like, when's this going to end?
Yeah.
And when it has it ended?
I couldn't even tell you if it's ended or not. It still has not ended. The only thing I can tell you is that all I wanted to do was take care of my kids. And it was very challenging to do that. Being divorced or going through a divorce, and then trying to take care of Sebastian, trying to raise his little brother who's 2 years younger than him at the time. It was horrific. It was 2010.
And you're doing this alone.
Doing this alone. Because when you decide.
And the reason I bring this up is because someone out there is going, I can't do this.
Yeah, you can't. It's hard. It's
You
hard. It's hard.
just heard the truth.
So did we get divorced? Yes. Was it easy? No. It took over 2 years, and a lot of money was wasted on lawyers instead of going to the children or to treatments. Are we friends today? Yes. 12 and a half, 13 years later, we're finally civil. But it didn't need to be this way, but we as individuals, and you'll find the story to be more relevant than not, just sometimes you just can't figure out how to get along. Even though you married the love of your life and your best friends, and a tragedy like this is a trigger for some other type of emotion, some other pathway for your relationship. It's like you live with it's like the story of the sweetest person on the planet, but all of a sudden their families die and they're worth tons and tons of money. And then you watch all of the kids fight over the money. And it's insane. Same thing. If you want to find out your true person, go to a funeral or go to a wedding. You'll find out how that person reacts.
And another way to put it is,
and divorce. Yeah.
If you want to find out how someone is, watch them lose a poker hand or a golf game and see how they handle it. It's kind of like that. It's the thing that reveals the real person, not the act, right. Not the outer show.
Right. And I got to tell you, I didn't act well, not at all. I reacted badly. I was upset. I was scared. I was furious. I was in shock, and I did a lot of stupid things at the time I thought were good for me and my kids. But retrospect, I could have done it differently. And that's the thing that I want you to understand. There's always a different path you can choose. You don't always have to have everything. It's not always going to be your toys and it's your sandbox. You have to share, especially when you have a terminally ill son. You have to understand that other parent has rights. And whether or not you feel that they are good for for them is none of your business. It's up to the courts if you decide to go to the courts, or if you can, avoid the courts, please do it at any cost and become amicable because that child needs you.
It's an expensive lesson emotionally and mentally and physically. It doesn't have to be an emotional
No.
lesson financially. Do the smart and right thing.
Right. Now, I don't know if my divorce, if it was amicable, would have changed anything about Sebastian's life. I just think Sebastian is just going to his own beat. And we take care of him and we train him. We feed him well. We have a ton of staff helping him.
He laughs every day.
He's got an amazing team here at the house and at school. And I didn't do this. It wasn't my idea. I just followed what other people told me that your child is going to need. I went to support groups. I went to Facebook groups. I picked up that 1,000-pound phone and I called those moms and said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all alone. I don't have a partner. I'm not getting married again. And let me tell you, finding a partner while you're in a rare disease with someone who's got a potential due death date, these women don't stay, and these men don't stay.
When you have an expiration date,
Well, I mean, we all have one,
but you have a better idea,
yeah, well, doctors talking out their butt.
and you realize how precious time is.
Yes.
And you realize how precious life is.
And you start to understand what it is all about.
Yes.
And it's not about the money or the stuff. Do the George Carlin. Do the George Carlin.
Which one?
It's my stuff.
I got drawers so I can put in my stuff.
He does a good George Carlin.
There's no hitch on a Hearst, there's no luggage racks on a Hearst. It's a one way. And you go out the same way you came in.
That's mine.
And between that first in-breath, that first inhale, and between that last exhale, in between is that thing called life. And we have to find a way to live it, not just survive and exist in the midst of tragedy and upset.
And you have to take that, exactly what he said, in every year and year out. It's not just right now. You have to take what he just said. You have to grow exponentially every year. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed. How many times do you have expectations that pan out? Very little, I imagine. And you get very upset. I am the award winner for planned disappointments. Trust me, I had expectations of what the mother should do, what the family should do, what I should do, and nothing ever measured up. And I was severely challenged because I just assumed.
And you get, and life will say, watch this, and check you hard.
Right. So when I found those groups and I found those friends, I don't have very many friends outside this space. That's very hard. So, my story is not all, gummy bears and roses. It's about, you have to do the work. You have to find your people. One mom's group said, you got to find your tribe.
I'll go one further. When you do the work and you make the effort, your people will find you.
Yeah. And it's just challenging at times. And so even though you think you have found your people, they dip out because they can't stay. It's too hard for them to watch. It's too hard.
And that just goes with life. It ebbs and flows like everything. But you have to be adaptable.
Yes.
To every day. It could be totally different every day.
And another thing I'm going to say to you that you probably don't like. Stop being a victim. Stop being a victim.
It helps no one, especially you.
Yeah.
It keeps you trapped in the.
Yeah, I understand. I understand this is all happening, and poor me, my kid. Stop being a victim. Okay, there's a point in time when you have to pivot, and you have to become that person that you never thought you could be, and you have to dig down deep, and you have to realize that the only person that you're going to be able to rely on is yourself. So don't be a victim. Get into action. Do something different. Become something that you didn't think you could be. Get uncomfortable. Do the right thing for your child, which is doing the right thing for yourself. You have to change. Change is hard.
So what's the old adage of it's human beings, it's either fight, flight, or freeze. And you got to be a fighter for this one. You cannot freeze.
Yeah, my story sucks. I'm starting to get upset about it again, and I don't know why.
Because it's your story.
Ah,
It happened. You have, this is your life. You know, this isn't a story. This isn't a Hallmark movie,
yeah, well,
right? Which are so, convenient to watch and get emotional about. But when you're in it, it's a whole different thing. It's a difference between being served a dinner at a restaurant and then making it yourself. When you make it yourself, which is how your life has been, you have to know every part of it and how to do everything.
but it hasn't been all bad.
No,
It hasn't been all bad. It was bad for about 5 years for sure. Going out of court and all that other crap. Money and not having a job and you can't go to work because you're taking care of your kid.
right.
But eventually it gets better. It will get better if you choose to change.
You gotta see it differently. And that's one of the whole thing, if you're a victim, you'll only see this overwhelming problem that will crush you.
Yeah, and you can't be doing that because all you do is attract negative stuff. Drama
It just gets
drama,
worse, yeah.
Drama. No drama for your mama.
And if you love drama, then you're gonna be in heaven.
And just subscribe to
But
Bravo.
that's not gonna do anything for
Just
the
watch
person.
Bravo and you'll get your fix.
Yeah.
I do everything. I check out. I do vegetation, not meditation. Get it?
I
With
get
just TV that just is ridiculous. My girlfriend has got me hooked on Lifetime.
People like dramas because it makes their life seem to be a little better. But when your life is a real life drama, I mean, it's and yours is the peak of that.
Yeah, well,
It's
I'm not saying it's not something I wanted.
no one signs up for this.
No one, but and I don't need kudos either. So here's the thing for me. I have turned a bunch of rotten lemons into compost, right? And I've created something that I didn't think I could do. And that's become really important for my person, which is my sons. So I have two. And I'm mentoring my 19-year-old into the real world. How many people out there, how many dads out there have a normal kid? Don't forget about him. He still needs everything that you're giving your sick kid, right? And then some.
And it's so easy to give all your attention
That's right.
to the one with the issue.
Don't do it.
You got to find a balance.
Yeah.
And you have to talk.
Right. And you have to be understanding that that kid's gonna miss, or not miss, but he'll be jealous and envious of your relationship to your sick person. Because it's gonna be, what about me? I need you too. And I know that's hard, especially if you're divorced like me and you don't have a person. Where's mom? Where's dad? Well, they married someone else, or they moved out of state. So you're it. You have full custody. So you really have to find the balance, the juggling, and all of that, guess what you get to do?
What do you get to do?
You got to find self-care.
You gotta find a way to do this without grinding yourself into nothing.
It's just impossible. But I'm doing it.
And it can be done. And if there's one thing you take away from this whole entire show, it can be done.
Right.
The impossible can be made
Now,
possible.
this guy's really positive because he doesn't take it home. See, he works and then he goes home. He gets to have that break, that separation. But for a while, he was married into this life where he had to take care of,
Severely autistic,
yeah,
can be violent, nonverbal, autism.
right.
And the difference between me and my wife was that I was a volunteer. She never had the choice.
Yeah, Steve married into that family. Talking about making the choices.
Yeah,
He knew what he was in for, and he's like, all right.
let's do this.
And he jumped in. How many years did you raise that kid?
I think I was his caretaker for 7.
7 years. Wow. How's he doing today?
He's doing fine. He got his program going on down the street.
Oh,
And but he's trapped in a 3 or 4 year old mentality. And so, mom doesn't get to expect anything really new. Oh, look, he did this today, or he did that today. And again, we talked about the mourning your child while they're alive. And it's, again, there's so much that comes along with this whole thing that we're talking about that you don't expect. you've never been here before, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's just will unfold one thing after another. But there's those that have gone on before who are more than willing to give of themselves, just like people gave you and helped you steer your course.
Yeah.
But yet you got to ask, and you got to put yourself
I
in
don't
front
talk
of
to
these
a lot,
people.
I don't talk to a lot of them anymore, but I'm glad that they did talk to me.
But now you're talking, that's what this medium is for.
Yeah.
To people who maybe haven't
Yeah.
had that or are looking for that.
Relationships come and go, especially in this space. This is really hard for people to understand. The normies, I call them, they don't have any sick children. They complain about their child in a different way, and you kind of go, isn't that interesting? Knowing that you know that that really doesn't hold a candle to what you got going on, but you have to be present, you have to be a friend, you have to be, you know.
See, if you got a call from the cops that your child was picked up for shoplifting, for a normal family, that's tragic. That's awful. That's, everything. For a rare disease family,
It's great.
that'd be like, wow.
That's awesome. I didn't do that. Seriously? What do you steal? That's different. That's cool.
So it's all how you look at it. It's all perspective. It really, what other people consider just awful and it's
Yeah.
the worst of the worst, it's never going to be the same. And once you've been in something like this in the trenches,
Right.
you,
Which
oh
is
my God, you couldn't be petty if you wanted it.
which is a great thing to mention. My friend Effie Parks, who has an amazing podcast called Once Upon a G. She was on a podcast with one of her guests, and she simply said, "It just why can't it just be easier? Why can't people just coexist and be easier and just say, hey, how's it going? Yeah, your son's in a wheelchair. Hi, how you doing?" But people kind of like just walk by and they're like, "Oh, that's I don't see that. I don't want to deal with that." And it's true. When I take Sebastian out, there are two types of people. There are people that stop and want to say hi, and there are people that just ignore you. I agree with Effie. I wish things would just be easier. Just, who cares? Who cares if he's in crutches and he's walking, talking funny, and he's drooling? That's my kid. That's my person. I'm taking care of this person. What's the big deal? Props to you. I can't talk to you, David. I'm on the air. Should we put Dave on the air?
No, your brother's
Yeah,
might be a little too much for this.
he's got a mouth. Sorry, Dave.
He gets a call back later.
Yeah, we'll call Dad back. It's my brother. God bless him. So
if you're out there, you're struggling a bit, let us know.
Yeah.
If you want, see what we can offer you. Put us to the test.
yeah,
See if we can direct you towards maybe resources you didn't know were available.
yeah,
And we're just one means. There's more out there too.
yeah. We're not the only guys that are going through this.
No,
We
we can't be. I hope.
There's this other podcast, Two Disabled Dudes. And they're two disabled guys and they do a podcast. It's pretty cool too. I mean, so there's lots of creativity in this space. If you really think about it, just because we're caregivers or we're caregivers or we have disabled family members or we're disabled ourselves or have rare disease doesn't mean we're not living.
I know a guy that went to an all handicap high school and there was only 2 parking spots for regular cars.
I love that. I wish I had that parking lot. I can't get Sebastian here.
That's my only.
You can't even take Sebastian to school. Everybody's in the handicap stalls.
Yeah, if you don't need that stall, if you got a handicap placard but you can walk.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And moms that sit in the handicap drop-off area because you're waiting for your child who can walk, move. Okay. This is not the Kardashians like hour. Get out.
It's not there for your convenience.
Yes.
It's not there to make your life
It's
easier.
there for my convenience with
Yes.
the van because I have to drop the bucket and put my son who's in a wheelchair into the van.
If you're going to a restaurant and you're doing a pickup, I'm only going to be 10 minutes. I'll park in the handicap spot.
Yeah,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, that's why there's fines. That's why there's fines. And you know what? Just because no cop calls you, I can call you and report you. How's that? You want me to start doing that?
So
Yeah,
try to make life easier on those who
it'd be nice.
need it.
Just be nice. What are we talking? Have common sense. Yeah, I know the stuff,
The rarest of all senses.
I know that the stall is right next to the door to the store. There's a reason why it's there for the handicapped. How would you like to park 17 blocks that way when you're walking in a wheelchair with a person on crutches?
I had an old man one time tell me, he goes, take the stairs while you still can.
Oh yeah, I took stairs today.
Yeah, and use your body, you know, but remember that life doesn't have to be so convenient.
Ugh,
You could sacrifice,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
50 yards or feet or whatever
Do
it is.
something. Stop being a victim.
Getting angry. Breathe. Breathe. There, he's coming back. He's coming back. The green is fading.
I was that Jerkaheimer. I was that idiot who did all that stuff that we're telling you not to do. This is before the diagnosis, before I got married, before I had kids. I was that guy. Who cares?
Yeah.
And now I'm furious. I hate it.
Well, now you're seeing it through the eyes of living it.
Yeah. Maybe it's my punishment, my karma. Hi, Jessica Rivas.
Hi.
How's it going? We're on the air. You want to say hi to the people?
Hi.
Okay. Well, we're about almost out of time. You got a few minutes left. I want to do something different starting, we're in the end of January, going to February. I want to take the last 5 minutes of this show to discuss what's going on. I want to check in with you guys, okay? Meaning like what's happening right now. What is the biggest problem that you have right now in this space? Like what's going on today? In my other support group, we call, living in the now, checking in. Nobody's checking in with the caregivers. No one's checking in with the other families. I have like 3 Facebook messages for people who live in Europe, and they still haven't gotten back to me. That's because they're in the hospital trying to figure out whether or not their son or daughter is going to make it. I picked up the phone, I called people today, I texted people today, went to voicemail, it's okay. So I want to hear from you guys. What's going on?
And do you have someone to stay current with? Do you have someone that you can bounce things off of?
Yeah, because left up to our own decisions.
Yeah, do you have someone in your life that maybe is a little further down the same road as you, so they bring some more experience that can benefit you?
I used to talk to this priest, and he taught me this. I never forgot this.
What did he teach you?
He said, before you do anything, and you're going to do something, obviously you're not going to listen because we're men, because we don't know any better. He said, I want you to pause and ask yourself this question out loud. Is this wise? To the end
Good
of
question.
every decision. Like, I think I'm going to go wash my car. Is this wise? Well, it's raining. You know what I mean? That kind of like, I'm going to go rob a bank. Well, is that wise? That kind of stuff. So,
I like that for the fact that it puts that element in there that wouldn't be there normally of, am I really going in the direction I need to be going?
yeah,
Or am I just doing that which is unnecessary?
yeah. So here's me checking in with you guys.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Things are okay. It was a good day for me. I was able to be of service. I went out to my friend's ranch and put up some new horse pens and fencing and cleaned some horse stalls, some horse poop. I shovel horse poop for a living, like a couple times a week. And then I was able to come here and kiss my son. He had the day off. It's Memorial. It's not Memorial. It's,
No school today.
sorry, Martin Luther King Day. It's one of the M days. Apologies. No,
Inauguration Day, Martin Luther King
Yeah.
Day,
we have
Monday.
dream people. And then I was able to walk the dog for 1.5 miles. I was able to. I got no work done for the foundation, but I didn't care. I had a small nap.
A good day indeed.
Yeah, and then I'm with you, good people.
Here we are.
Yeah. Hi. How was your day?
I had a good day also.
Tell us.
At a Christmas party I went to, I won a little air fryer.
Right.
So
I
I made
remember
a
that.
sandwich today, and I'm gonna put it in the air fryer. It's delicious.
Yeah.
It was like a panini, all toasted. My bread was toasted.
Whoa, that sounds so
The
good.
cheese melted. I
Wow.
love it. So and I'm at that point where the simple things, the little things, mean a lot. A lot. And so throughout my day, I told someone earlier I talked to, I said, if you see something beautiful today, just take a picture and send it to me. And he did.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Family picture.
That's a family picture. It can be beautiful.
And then when I saw it, I go, I think you sent it to the wrong person. Then I remember what our conversation was. And it made sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Right.
And he carried out the mission, very good.
Well, there you go. And then the rest of your day was good.
And here I am. Yeah. The rest of the day is good.
Okay. Well, there it is.
All is well, as
Tell
a
me
wise man
something.
once said.
Tell me something good. I like it. Anything else?
I got nothing.
As my brother Dave would say, are we about done here?
I think we're about done here.
Well, thanks for joining us for another crazy hour of Man's Journey. I'm Christopher Valona.
I'm secondhand Steve. And how do they get hold of us if they want to send us an email?
Yeah. You want to go to the email? We'll go to the email. Email us at it's on Gmail, so it's men@raregivers.global. That's the Gmail. So that's capital M and then capital R. Okay, so just those two. .global. It's not .com or .net or .us. Global. All right, and then send us what you want to talk about. Send us how you're feeling. Send us any type of email. If you can see us in the chat here, drop down some kudos, say hi to us. And if you hit that like and subscribe button, we'd be really happy for you. That way we can stay on the air here. And we'd love some sponsors. If you feel this is a great, what do you call it? Cohesive connection for anything male related. Drop us a line.
Look forward to hearing from you. And remember, until we meet again, be gentle with yourself.
Is this wise?
Nice.
Nice.
All right, everyone.